Japan is making some big changes to its Navy, announcing it will reorganize its surface units into a single fighting force. That unit would include its escort and minesweeping fleets. It would coordinate with ground troops to defend Japan's Southwest Islands, the part of the country closest to Taiwan. Japan is also setting up a new unit to counter cyber and cognitive warfare. It comes amid calls by Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae to strengthen Japan's military as it faces tensions with China. For more on the new changes in Japan's self-defense forces, our reporter Lery Hiciano spoke with defense analyst Bryce Barros. He's a visiting fellow at the Institute for National Defense and Security Research, or INDSR.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on what exactly this reorganization means and what it signals moving forward?
I mean, basically, these reforms have been in the pipeline for a couple of years in terms of wanting to transform the JSDF from a more obvious in the name self-defense force to one that's actually much more combat capable and being able to do things on cybersecurity came up within those reforms, but also wanting to counter disinformation, information manipulation, that sort of thing, right? And that's certainly relevant in places like, Kagoshima and Okinawa. A few months ago, Japan announced the SHIELD program, which is called Synchronized Hybrid Integrated Enhanced Littoral Defense. That all lines up to a military force that's really focused on how does it defend Southwest Islands near Taiwan.
Given that Taiwan and Japan face many of the same concerns when it comes to Chinese aggression or Chinese threats, cybersecurity, disinformation campaigns, islands that are closer to China that are difficult to defend, how do you think these two sides can collaborate moving forward?
There's a lot more area for collaboration between Taiwan's own sort of like security services and the Japanese. I'm assuming a lot of that, counter cognitive warfare thinking will go into what the character of this new agency will be versus what currently exists at the moment. There could be a lot of collaboration on those things. For example, Japan's National Police Agency, or I'm using that because they have intelligence functions given before the reforms right now that you're seeing working together with the Taiwan's Ministry of Justice Investigation Bureau, not talking about that per se, but more sort of like broader sort of like law enforcement concerns that go into that, which, bleeds into China's sort of United Front work, wanting to use different causes for their own sort of end goals, just becomes very opportunistic for China to want to get involved in some of those things.
When you look at plans like this, what is the role of the U.S. or what influence does the U.S. have in pushing it forward?
I think a lot what you might see are surrounding that specifically would be things related to whatever the United States feels comfortable sort of not necessarily allowing the Japanese to engage into, but the Japanese are very sensitive to the U.S. alliance. If they feel that that's an okay thing to sort of pursue within the context of the U.S. alliance and understanding that Taiwan is tied to Japan's own security, then I could see there being more cooperation on that front. None of this stuff is outside the realm of possibility or realm of being hush-hush, but this sort of more institutionalized cooperation, I think is something to keep an eye out for. But I'm not sure if you will get an equivalent of a Taiwan Relations Act from Japan.
That was Bryce Barros from INDSR.